Hi folks, Big Ted in Oz here in Perth, WA. I'm currently sitting in my 2010 ST1300 by Honda, on my way to another Honda motorcycle shop to try another bike. This one, I think the original design for the ST13, or this design I should say, was sort of revamped in about 2004. Other than ABS and a shaft drive, which it's always had, that's the ST range that is, it's been a pretty basic bike. Really easy to ride, extremely reliable. Having just ridden it around Australia, no problems at all, but it's dated. Probably the biggest complaint from the ST community is that it's just an old bike, basically, even though it is reliable. I mean, they're still on the road from the original ST11 out there. So, and what I'm heading out to ride is the new Goldwing 2018, still a GL 1800. I always liked the look of the Goldwing. Well, the idea of the Goldwing, I thought the most recent model is a little bit too chunky for my liking, much bigger than this. What I'm riding is the dual clutch 7-speed, the Tour Premium they call it. It's got everything on it. I'll describe that when I get on it. Never ever ridden a Goldwing before, but I know this one being sort of 40 or 50 kilos heavier, it's going to be different, but nowhere near as heavy as the previous version. It's very slightly wider, 3 centimeters, and about 20 centimeters longer, I believe, just on the specs. So not significant, not really significant for Perth roads either, for that matter. So anyway, fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. Well, this is it. I've just picked it up, brought it around the corner, put the camera on. It's a lot lower, no clutch, that's weird. Pegs are a lot further forward. Put it into drive. I'm going to take it very quietly. Don't rev the engine because it goes forward. Indicators. Nice little deep throaty growl it's got, I've got to say. I'm just running it in tour mode. It's weird not having a clutch. I want to reach for it. The gear changes, you can hear them but you can't feel them. Okay, 1800 6-cylinder, dual clutch 7-speed automatic. You can go manual if you want to, using buttons on the shifter there, on the left handlebar. Okay, I've only got it for about an hour because I think I've slotted myself in nicely into a fairly lengthy queue for a test ride. So I think, in a month or two I'll probably be able to get it for half a day or something without any problem. That's another ride. First impression, love it. Really nice deep throaty noise, a sound coming from the pipes. Very comfy. It's the foot pegs are a lot further forward than I'm used to. Now, I've not ridden a Goldwing before, and I know this is not as big as the last Goldwing, so a smaller step up, I should say, from the 1300 that I'm currently riding, the ST. The dual clutch they've had around for a while, not on the Goldwing or anything that I've had, but I think the VFR 1200 when it came out a couple of years ago, well 5-6 years ago now, did have a dual clutch option. It wasn't very popular though, and probably on that bike it was probably a bad choice because it's more sports bike than tourer, whereas this one is the traditional armchair on wheels. Hands seem quite far apart on the bars, which is a comfy position. Windscreen's down, I've got about sort of 4 inches over the top of that to the car in front, which is not far away, so that's good. Mirror's good, did need a bit of an adjustment. My bad, I should have done that. But yeah, really comfy. The seat's not too bad. It looks like a wide seat, but it is sort of concave. So you do feel like you're sort of sitting on a little bit of a peak, but it is very comfy. Much better than the stock standard ST that I had, ended up replacing with a Russell. Now I'm doing 50 k's an hour in 2 mode in 5th gear, and I know there's 2 more gears to come. That's sitting at about 1600 RPM. Surprising amount of engine braking then, actually, even though it's an automatic. Didn't really expect that. It's not like a manual clutch, of course, but now I've been on it for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, ridden a few kilometres, and I've forgotten I'm not using a clutch already. Really does not take long. I thought it might take a while, and certainly some of the other reviews, seems that guys have been reaching for them for the clutch and the brake gear levers by accident a fair bit. I think I did it once or twice and that was it. Cruise control, easy to work out, just the button down here, but the LED there's not terribly visible in daylight, I have to say. Now that said, the display setting has multiple brightness levels, and it may be on a low setting or something, but it doesn't worry me, but something to be aware of. As I said earlier, this bike is about 20 centimetres longer and about 3 centimetres wider at the mirrors, and it certainly looks wider at the mirrors, but only by 3 centimetres. It's quite deceptive. Not a big deal in Perth though, because the roads are quite wide typically. Not all of them, but obviously, but I think I'd be able to negotiate the traffic, even peak hour on this. Cruise control engaged, and it's just like a car's cruise control. Duh. Okay, let's see how we go. Pickup's pretty good. I wasn't really flogging it. It's meant to have auto cancel indicators after 7 seconds, I believe. I'll see if that happens. Yeah, all gone. This bike, probably one of the biggest things on this, well, it's a brand new bike. There's nothing new about this compared to the previous model, other than the fact they have the same name and same size engine. Everything's basically been redesigned from scratch, and probably the biggest thing technology wise on it is the front suspension. It's a paralever fork or tetralever fork, whatever you want to call it, dual lever, not telescopic forks. And it's meant to be able, it gives them the opportunity to shrink the size of the bike, bring the front wheel closer in, which is certainly good if you've been riding an ST1300 like me. And it's meant to make for reports are that it makes for a smoother ride. Now I've not hit a horrible road yet, so it's a bit hard for me to comment on that, but it's as responsive as you'd expect. Brakes are nice and smooth. Oh, went for the clutch and the brake, sorry, the gear stick. Foot peg, I mean. You know what I mean. Turning circle. I'm a bit overly careful there, I think. Neutral. Wow. Gotta stop that. They're gonna get pissed with me if I keep doing that. Amazing. LED everywhere. Got little glove blocks, it's lockable with a key. It's all keyless entry, by the way. So how does that look? Plain black, it's quite shiny. It's no different to the plastics on my ST1300, but that looks quite nice. I think I'd still like a red or a blue. But, very nice, very nice. Let's see if I can put my leg over it instead. Get used to it, I think. Needs practice. That's turning's easy. I think it's easier than the ST. Wow. Oh crap. Road closed. It's got manual mode, but you don't need it because you can, while it's in fully automatic, I can go down a gear, up a gear, and then after a little while it sort of works it out that you're not playing with it anymore and then changes it back to fully automatic. It's very clever. I like it. To me, there's probably no need to have you put it into manual mode, particularly when you've got the sports mode as well. Let's stick that in sport, see how that goes. This could be fun. What it does is adjust the suspension, acceleration, gearing. Whoa, Jesus. Wow. That was fun. Note to self, Rob, this is a 6-cylinder 1800. I'll put it back into tour mode. It's flashing at me at the moment for some reason, I'm not sure why. I think I needed to touch the brake or slow down or something. Again, it's just getting used to it, understanding what it's meant to do, how it's meant to do it. Get around this big bus, move this big bus around that big bus. I could get used to this real easy. So I don't know that it was down all the way before, but the windshield is down properly now. I'll go this way. And this is the maximum position on the shield. So it's, I'm still looking at the horizon, I'm still looking over the top of it, and I think if it's like my ST, there'll be a mechanism in here where I can actually, with a screwdriver, I can adjust it and raise it another 4 or say 10 centimeters or something like that. I'd be surprised if that wasn't the case. Okay, welcome to Perth, Swan River. There's a few bumps on this road and hardly feeling anything through the front. One thing I need to do is play with a fuel gauge just to see what sort of economy it's reporting, or not. Now they say this is only a 21 litre tank, my ST is 29, and the fuel economy I get out of that is a fraction over 5 litres per 100 k's. So based on the, not that I've ever run it dry, but based on the size of the tank, I should get over 500 k's out of my ST. So I have a feeling this is only about 400. Now for me, that, you know, around Perth, that's fine. Still less than, keep using the shift down instead of the indicator. That's something I need to get used to. But even 400 is still, you know, it's more than a week's travel for me. Anyway, let's look at this gauge. Neutral. Okay, so fuel consumption's on the bottom of the display there. Says average 7.1 instantaneous. Let's see. .1's not good, but that's probably people fanging it like me. I'm curious to see what it gets on sort of highway cruising speed. So I think it's more representative of my riding. I'm not one to flog a bike. So that's down. I'll put cruise control on in a sec. So that is down around 5. That's not very granular. So doing 50 k's an hour. It's in 5th gear and it's doing 5 litres per 100. Which is probably what I'd be getting on the ST, to be honest. No different there. I'm not going to worry too much about the controls and the electronics package, because that's all available online. The only thing I wanted to ride it for was to see how it felt and what the gear changes were not like, or like with the dual clutch. Cruise control at 100 k's an hour is around 5 to 6. It's sort of fluctuating. It's heading into the wind as well. That probably has an effect. Again, almost identical to the ST1300, but this is so much heavier. So I'm impressed. So it'll be a smaller range for me, but I don't think that's a problem. I really don't. Not for my riding anyway. I can talk myself into anything, I reckon. There's a lot to like on this bike. Complete electronics package. It's even got an airbag. This bit here. Have a look at Google airbag Goldwing and watch the videos. It's quite impressive. Should be on all bikes really. It's a fairly small cost driver for most of them. Anyway, yeah. Comparing it to my ST. Mine is a great bike, very reliable, very dated. No electronics really, but great bike nonetheless. If you were to take the ST, and it went out of production, I think the last batch was 2011 or something like that, around there. If Mr. Honda was to go and build a brand new design for the sports tourer ST, he'd add all of the electronics that this has probably got. Maybe not the full-blown CarPlay thing, but you know, who knows. But you'd certainly expect GPS, and which this got, and you know, radio sort of hi-fi as an option at least. Cruise control, electronic this, electronic that. Maybe not an airbag, but you'd end up with a bike that's very close to this, except that it wouldn't be a 6-cylinder 1800, or maybe it would be. So personally, when I first heard the specs of this come out, I told myself, I think this is actually the new ST. While it's a Goldwing, Honda probably, and they released a couple of bikes since, so the CTX and all sorts of crap, which I don't like, but I reckon they probably knew they'd be doing this, and this, in terms of size and weight, is actually probably closer to the ST1300 than the previous model Goldwing. I don't know, I haven't checked that, but I suspect it probably is. And as a result, I'd be tempted to call this the 2018 Honda ST1800, and I'd be comfortable with that. I'd buy one. My only concern is the price tag. To a premium, this model, right away price at a bargain for $45,500. That's a lot of dosh. You get a lot of bike for it, but it's squaring up right against the BMW K1600, and that's a much more powerful bike. I think Honda's probably overpriced this, frankly, but I don't think it would stop me buying it. Like I said, it's only 40 kilos or so heavier than my ST, and you got all this other stuff on it. So I'm impressed. And I'm really used to the automatic already. I don't think I'd ever leave tour mode, and I certainly don't think I'd need to use the manual, because I don't need to. Like I said, you can go up and down while you're in the automatic, and it sort of allows you to take that finer control. Say you're overtaking a car or something, you don't have to change into a manual mode or anything like that. You just go for it, and then it works out what you want to do and then resets. Very clever. For some reason Honda have chosen to only release the bike in Perth through Dale Britton Honda. Don't know why, probably because I'd only sell maybe 20 or 30 of them. Love the sound of that engine. Kind of sounds like a V8 car. Okay, well that was nice. Now I'm back on the ST. I've got to say it's a much higher ride, and I feel like I'm on a sports bike. It's quite strange. And you know, I'm looking at the leg position. You know, my heel is sort of 2/3 of the way under my thigh towards my butt, whereas on the Goldwing it's under the knee. Very different riding style, much more comfortable. Standard seat's nice. I could sit in that all day. Unlike the ST seat, as I said earlier, I think. But nice. Now, time to work on that business case. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you later.